Ladies and gents, as you know, as I do my tactic talks, I do not do a single thing when it comes to transfers or money or any kind of contract negotiations. I do a straight season-long sim, and that is it. Now, there's a couple reasons for that, which I'll get into later, but in case you wanted to know how to do an entire season-long and more sim with actual transfers, contract negotiations, and all of that funky stuff, I'm going to show you right now. Now, I've set up this test with Wolves in the Premier League just to show you kind of how about to go along with a sim like this. Transfers are back in this. Contract negotiations, I'm pretty sure, are as well. But the reasons why I really haven't used this method when I'm doing my own tactic talks with these transfers is actually there's a couple of them. First and foremost, at this time that I started doing all these tactic talks, I didn't know how to do it properly. I was trying to do a couple things like I'll show you in a minute, but they just weren't working. I'm assuming I didn't get all the pieces right, and they just, every single season I would go through, no transfers whatsoever. Secondly, could be the team I chose. I honestly do not remember the first team I chose, but it could be that just they didn't have enough money and they didn't do any transfers and they were kind of keeping things at bay. But third and last, to be honest, and this is still what keeps me from doing the transfers and this whole setup in the next set of transfer talks that I'm going to be doing. And let me know if you'd like to see them. We'll see. But I don't really trust the management staff. So many times in FM past, we have seen management staff bring in players that have nothing to do with the tactic. I have 4 strikers. They bring in a 5th. I have a 1 striker tactic. Why are they bringing in a 5th? I need someone who's pacey. They give me someone with aggression. Makes no sense why they would bring in some kind of players with certain attributes that just aren't useful to your tactic. So that's kind of the big reason right there, besides the fact that I didn't know how to at the beginning. But this is the big reason I just didn't trust the management staff to do what I needed them to do. So again, but if you want to see transfers and contract negotiations and all that in the tactic talks, let me know. I'm going to put a poll on the channel, so we'll see what you want to see. But with all that, let's get into the show. So, as you're starting out a new save, if you're going to be simming for whatever reason, you want to have a tactics test of your own, you want to do a couple of other tests, you want to see how, PSG or Liverpool or, Rotherham, what kind of players they're going to bring, what kind of players are they looking for? This is how I would suggest doing it. So, if you look at your staff, you will see responsibilities, overview. Now, every single one. In this specific case, if I'm going to sim a season and want everything done as it normally would, I would basically say set all to delegate. Every single thing, every single responsibility that is currently yours in an FM save that if you're playing, you would normally do for the most part, is now delegated to whomever the staff feels is most responsible for that. Once you have done that, once you have set delegate to everything, make sure you hit confirm, because if you go into staff responsibilities to check, you'll still see that you are responsible for a lot if you do not hit that confirm button. And again, you can also do this piece by piece. So if you want scouting only done by, delegated, you can hit delegate, set all to staff member or set all to recommended staff member, and then make sure, again, hit confirm. Go back to responsibilities. You can see that everything in here from the media to scouting responsibilities, to staff hiring and management, and all that is done here. You can see training, tactics, there you go, provides team selection advice for the tactic. It's all delegated. This includes transfers and contract responsibilities. Everything here is delegated to, in this case, it's the chief scout. I'm not really sure why you'd have the chief scout initiating player signings, negotiating player signings, and finalizing player signings. So you may actually want to delegate to certain other people, maybe the chairperson or the owner or director. And depending on, obviously, their skills, again, just the same as when you're trying to find a team for FM, if you're going to delegate control, you kind of want to see what their stats are, what their attributes are. If you got someone who cannot negotiate for the life of them, putting them in charge of negotiating for contracts is probably not the best idea. So this is kind of maybe a 4th reason why not to do it this way. Because everything's done by whomever is delegated to. So loan manager is great for developing loan and young players, but again, chief scout for recommending and offering contracts to players in the first team, I don't know. But once you're set and you're all happy with this, feel free. Go to your home, go to profile, go on vacation. None of this seems to matter as transfer offers, except all offers for players or anything like that. But if you're doing a tactic, just remember, use current match tactics. If you are doing specific teams, use current team selection when possible. But if you're going through an entire season, most likely you're not going to be doing that. And then all you have to do is set when you want to come back. Choose, you can set anywhere from 1 day all the way to 5 years from now. So I can go to the end of 2027, set, make sure everything's done, go on vacation, and there you go. So now I have simmed in this Wolves save until 2026. It is the end of the season of 2026. And as you can see, if we look at the transfers and transfer history, you will see they've brought in several players and loaned out and got rid of a couple of others. If we go all the way to the 22-23 season, so you can see at the end of the season, Miguel Veloso came in, Giovanni Cabral came in January, as did Cedric from Arsenal, and then got rid of Ruben Neves for 53 million in January as well. And this continues, this entire process. So it does work. Whether it worked well or not is a different story. I'm going to do another video on just the Wolves in the next 5 years, just to see what happens. But overall, I will tell you that transfers do happen. It does work. There are some players that I have not seen if they're contract negotiations, but that seems to be how you do it. If there are other pieces to it that I haven't done, let me know and what I missed, and I'll maybe do another video, or I'll see what happens. But that is how you go sim through a season. It's an easy way to do tactics testing, is the big thing for me. So you can see who the management team would actually like to bring in and things like that. It makes things a little bit more realistic when you have a tactic that you're trying to test out over a year. One person in the comments asked me if I could do a certain tactic for multiple years. So I may go back and do that. For me, when I see after a season-long tactic test, if they're not bringing anyone in, these contracts are going up a year. And at some point, all of these players are going to expire. You're going to have nothing left but your youngsters. The tactic's just not going to work as well because you don't have the players there that you did at the beginning, and your quality of staff is just going downhill. So a very good reason why you'd put on transfers and things like that for a tactics test. If you're doing things just seeing how a player goes from one team to another, you don't need that unless you're actually in a team and managing a team itself. And that's kind of the big thing, is if you're managing a team itself, this is useful. If you're not and you're just simming, no use whatsoever for me. But that is how I do it. That is what I can do from now on. I'll put a poll on the channel to see what people want me to do when tactics tests are here from here on out. And we'll see. But that is it for me, Savvy FM and the Football Manager blog channel, for showing how to add transfers and contract negotiations and all that funky money stuff into your season-long sims or more when you're taking control of a specific team. So that is it for us. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and enjoy.